What is going on, guys? I'm just going to give you a couple tips and tricks for the SP-404MKII. So when you first get the device and load on your samples, maybe some kicks, a snare, and hats, you might notice that they're kind of double triggering a lot. It's just not like when you go to try to resample. See, that hat is just double triggering a couple times. So what you're going to want to do is go into a shift 15. It'll take you to pad settings. Go to the bottom, trigger span. You're going to want to turn this to maybe a 6, anywhere from 5 to 10. So what it's doing, it's 1 second equals 10, and it's breaking down into fractions of that. So if I set it to 6, it will delay another trigger for 6/10 of a second. Well, it'll not allow the sample to retrigger for another 6/10 of a second. So this way, when we try to make a drum loop, it'll sound a lot cleaner. Yeah, so that's just one thing. It'll make your life a lot easier. Another thing, so you're going to want to shift 16 will bring you to the effects view. Sorry. So how do you... Okay, so moving this control on the right will bring you into the other sub menus. And a cool thing is that this direct menu, it will allow you to actually change out the effects that are on these buttons. So I don't know if you're ever going to use the resonator effect. I don't know why they would put it there in the very front. What I did is I exchanged it with the stopper effect, which I use all the time. The same thing goes with the filter drive effect. I don't really use too much, so I exchanged that with the reverb effect. This is for like performing or doing live recordings. So there's my stopper effect instead of the resonator effect. And I have my reverb there. I just kind of like it like that, so that you're not having to like menu dive and maybe press the wrong thing. I just, no one likes to menu dive. What is the next thing? So you can trigger effects with this, so instead of turning the isolator on and off, you can hold this down, and so that when you press the isolator, it only triggers while it's in like the down position. So it just comes in handy so that you don't have to take the extra time of like pressing on and off. It's just one kind of fluid motion. I find it extra handy with the DJ effects looper, so you can just kind of stuff like that. It's just fun to do live. What else? That's kind of all the tips I have for right now, but another thing I'll do is I'll show you how I organize my samples on the MK. So it's mostly drum sounds I got on here. We go to shift 14, import from SD card. That's kind of where the samples all exist. I have 2 main folders. One contains like my finished tracks, all the tracks that I would want to play during a live show or whatever. And the other folder has all my samples. And I have this sample folder broken down into hat, kick, perk, snare. Those are my main folders, and within these I have shaker, open hat, cymbal in my hat folder, because they just kind of, it's the same kind of sample And then I have different kind of drum kits, but I only have in here the hi-hats that's included with that kit so that it's in my hi-hat folder. It's just, this is how I find it easier to, when you have like an open empty project and you just want to load a whole bunch of samples before even getting to laying down a drum loop or something. What else do I have in here? I have just effects, breaks and fills, different instrument samples. I have the lasers. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any tips of your own. Leave them in the comments, and peace.